This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
All right, I guess we'll open the meeting of the Manhan Rail Trail Committee for March 28th, 2022. I believe this is probably going to be our last remote meeting. We are starting back in person come April 1st. So anyway, I've sent everybody the February 28th minutes. Oh, I'm noticing they say 2021. I think we should fix that.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine, yeah. So she's
Is there somebody talking in the background somewhere? Maybe somebody can move there.
Yeah.
She was so upset. He's so.
Thank you. Thanks, Steve.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Any comments, any corrections, anything? All right. Is there a motion to accept the minutes of the February 28th meeting?
Move we accept the minutes.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Raise your hands. Okay. All right. No, there's somebody. Still don't see John, but let's go ahead and get started because so last week was it? We met Debbie Wendelowski, Joe from Zawinski from Williston, and a group of us out on the path near the tandem area, and we talked about the trees. So I'm just going to let Debbie just take it from here and explain what we talked about and what your ideas are.
Barb, I'm wondering if Joe should start to just give an overview of why we're doing this.
Sure.
And talk about lighting and all of that.
Sure, that sounds great.
I know I saw him there.
Can't hear you.
You're muted.
He's not muted.
Oh, we can't hear him.
I know.
Make sure you don't have like headphones plugged in or anything. I've done that before, as you guys all know.
And your audio, you tested your audio?
Oh. Yeah, he's not muted.
Oh, it
Uh-oh.
looks like it's back to you.
Can he hear us?
Can you can hear us? I wonder if you log out, log back in, or try something.
Yeah. Okay.
Debbie, I'm taking the minutes. How do you spell your last name, please?
It's WINDOLOSKI.
Just like it sounds.
Pretty much.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
What's today's date, you guys?
28.
28. Ooh.
You know, Barb, one other minor thing in the minutes I noticed, it's not that it's inaccurate, but I carried over the statement that there was no December meeting from the January minutes that I cut and pasted from. So, but.
Okay. You want to resend that or let's,
It's probably not even worth.
Yeah, I'll just say the January minutes were approved and I'll fix it.
Just end it there. Exactly.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Did we lose Joe?
I thought he was gonna
Well,
try to get
Barb,
back
I
in
can
again.
start, I can
Okay.
review, I can
Sure.
tell you a little bit about what I know of Williston's role. Obviously, they called me to give them some design ideas. And from what I understand, the plan is to put lighting on the back of the building
Yep.
and to remove all of the existing materials, the plant materials. And we're going to give it a new, a refresh and renew the whole planting scheme there. So as you can see in the diagram, I just did some very rough sketches just to get my ideas across. And if you look at the review or the summary of the landscaping project, you'll see the criteria that I used for plantings. I know that the people that were at the meeting that day had specified, wanting 4 seasons of interest. We also talked about easy care, low maintenance. Obviously, we want them to be hardy plants, non-invasive, disease resistant. That's pretty much the way I design all of my gardens anyway. But an added benefit that everybody seemed to be interested in was to make this more of a pollinator, butterfly, bird-friendly area, kind of a wildlife habitat style planting. So what I've done, and some of these abbreviations on the diagram might be hard to figure out, but to save space, if you start looking at the left side where it says Hetz Midget EG, EG means evergreen. The next shrub over says HYDR, that's a hydrangea. I think those are the only abbreviations that might not be easy to understand. So I did not get specific as to what types of plants right now, the specific names, because I want to know what the nurseries have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much what I've done is a variety of needled evergreens, broadleaf evergreens, flowering shrubs, some that would flower in the spring, some that would flower in the summer, some that would still be flowering in the fall. Across the front would be a variety of butterfly and pollinator perennials. These are all easy care perennials that would survive our planting zone. And then I would tuck in some other small flowering plants, either shrubs or perennials, in around the shrubs that would be running along the back edge. So it's a similar scheme for both sides. There are more plants on the right than there are on the left. I'm keeping all of the heights of the plants down below the windows, which was requested by the group that we met with. The taller plants would be going in between the windows. Unfortunately, the sketch that you have here does not show the dimensions of what it would look like up against the building. I was thinking what I could do after they clear out the plants was do a quick sketch so that you could see what that would actually look like, if that would be helpful.
Just want to check to see, oh, I guess I'm live now. Okay, my volume.
Oh, good, Joe.
All right.
So we're back. So I appreciate your patience here. So I don't know, do you want me to, again, Debbie, do you want me to back up and kind of go from where Williston's at and what we're doing? I'm not sure what you guys covered.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Joe. I pretty much just a quick overview about lighting and clearing out the shrubs, but I'm sure you could do a much better job.
Well, I think we discussed this, last week when we met, and I think between the bike path and Williston and everything, and Tandem, we have a goal to light up the area, and that was the first thing. Was when we looked at it was, well, we can't do what we want with the lighting based on the current plantings and everything, and so we looked at that and said, okay, what needs to be done? And removal of some plants, and my boss Brian Wing had some discussions with Barb and some people at the bike path, and said, okay, let's have a meeting to talk about this. And so at that point, it got brought into my hands, and so I was asked to start to kind of lead this a little bit. And so Debbie and I have worked together on a lot of projects at Williston, and looking at the area, and with that meeting, I think we can do a lot of things to that area, not only help with the lighting and such, but also with kind of updating that area and making it a little bit easier and a little bit more attractive area than what we currently have right now. So, you know, Williston is willing to take the lead on this, along with Debbie, as well as, you know, the approval of these, you know, generic sketches. You know, with my experience in working with Debbie and what I've currently see there's going to be just a vast improvement of the way that area is going to be looked at compared to what it is now. And again, you know, I'm willing to take the lead as the Williston liaison, and putting things out there. And if we need further approval for planting selections, that's fine based on what we have for availability. But I will say this again, with my experience working, you know, with Debbie over the last 8 or 9 years, you know, we'll make it work. And I think the first phase really is the removal of the existing plantings.
Hit the wrong button. So it's my thought that, yeah, I totally trust Debbie in what you choose as far as the varieties and the actual plants. Nothing here looks wild and crazy, and you know, whatever variety, I totally am fine. That's my personal opinion.
I agree. And also I like all the principles you mentioned about, you know, the native species and so forth. I think they were all very sound. And whoever came up with I don't know if we talked about it in the meeting, I forget, but whoever came up with the butterfly friendly stuff, that's great. That's a really good addition to all of this too.
Well, the idea that I like about this is that not only does it make a pleasing garden to look at, I think this helps inspire people who use the bike path to think about doing similar things in their own yards. And I'm always about educating people on how to work with wildlife and butterflies. And, you know, we could even put some signage in there. You'll notice on my summary that I suggested maybe some signage. That central patio brick area, I suggested possibly adding some large stones to sit on. It's kind of a plain area, and I wanted to try to do something to make it more of a destination spot.
Yeah, the only thing
Obviously-
is, the only
Go
thing
ahead.
is about that spot is that sometimes we do have things that we do there, and I'm really surprised that we haven't had people want to do like music there, or
Oh, okay.
do, you know, so I kind of feel like maybe that space shouldn't be fooled around with too much.
That makes sense.
I mean, that can change down the road, but I mean, if this becomes really a beautiful spot, it might attract, you know, I'm always surprised that that little spot right there isn't being used. So.
Yeah. Barb, I don't know if that page that had the color artwork for the walls is available to look at for everybody. The one I sent you this morning.
Yep, I did forward it as a separate email. Everybody got it.
Yeah, we did get that. Yeah, I saw
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
That was just a suggestion because I really like the way the mural looks on the other side of the wall. And I think, you know, they don't have to be as extensive as the pictures that I sent, but I think just doing something on those plain red walls, even if it's a few sunflowers that are planted, might really add to that whole area.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we could approach our city arts coordinator and kind of let them after. I think, you know, we kind of have to figure that the plants are going to grow up and they're going to cover parts of the wall.
Right.
But I think that could be something that we give to Pasqualina, our arts coordinator, and say, can you find somebody who might be interested in putting something here or doing something like that?
Yeah, I think it'd be a nice addition.
Barb, can I just jump in here? I guess my thought when I saw it, I love the murals, but my feeling is that you know, you have on the other wall a huge, very colorful mural. And to me, that's the focal point. And to add something on the other side might be sensory overload. You know, I'd rather see that mural maybe on that, oh, what's that business that we always cut through on by Park Street? The side of that wall that's covered by graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I just think having two murals that are different styles could be too much. And then you've got all these beautiful flowers. And then
Yeah.
I think having a plain background, you know, a canvas, if you will, is perfect for the flowers and the plantings that will be in front of it. And I would leave that alone, but that's just my opinion.
Well, I think what you're gonna see is, you know, and this is something that, you know, it's easy for me to say at Williston because I control all of this. And so now we're trying to blend together a Williston Williston building with what's going on with the rail trail. And I think that's the part that, you know, we talk about approvals and this and that. You know, I think this is maybe something that maybe we could grow into a little bit. Whether it's just, you know, let's look at the plantings. We mentioned this, you know, a little bit, Barb, when we were out there, that what's going to happen when we start taking some of these, well, we're taking all of this material out of there, you know, what's going to be the reaction to the community when we start doing that. We're hoping that it's not going to take that long, so they'll see what we're trying to accomplish. But
well, Barb was very smart about that, because that's why she wanted these documents before we took anything out. So I think that's a very good point, but she anticipated you on that one. That's correct.
Yeah. We have, I mean, I know this is really like just a sketch, but I think it might not even be a bad idea to kind of have that out there to say, this is what we're looking at, even though I know it's very preliminary and, you know, there'll be changes made to it and things like that. But like, yeah, people are going to be a little worked up when they go by and see everything being torn out. But
yeah, it's a very good point.
I think
we could put a sign saying coming soon.
Yeah,
and then
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, we do get a little bit of feedback from some of the people on the bike path from where we were talking. I know my boss Brian has been out there talking about the lighting and everything, and we get not always the most positive feedback. What if we had something, a sandwich board or something along those lines, saying, you know, new and improved coming, whatever it is. You know, Williston obviously isn't looking for anything to like say, this, look what Williston's doing. We just want to say, okay, it's okay that we're doing this.
yeah,
You know, that it's just not on our own that we're trying to do it.
yeah. I think having something on site, but also out on social media would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Joe, can I, since you seem to be the point person now for Williston, the person in charge, I'm just going to pitch you something that's kind of slightly related to this, could be related to this, or some just for you to think about. One thing also, that building that Tandem is in, that you guys own, is a historical railroad building, and there's no plaque or anything or no information for people to know that. So you might consider that as part of this project, or as a later project, to put something up there about that.
So that's Steve, that's a great point. You know, when so many people, and I didn't know a lot about Williston before I came to Williston, and I certainly didn't know a lot about the railroad station before I came to Williston. And right around that same time was when Tandem Vega was starting their business there, and now it's become Tandem. And so to your point, I think it would be good. I don't know all the history, but we've certainly done that with some buildings around Williston, just to try to look at the history and to identify them as to, geez, this is, you know, this was Samuel Williston's such and such, or this was part of, you know, this isn't obviously a Samuel Williston building, but this certainly is a an Easthampton railroad building. And so we probably should look at that. I will pass it along to see. We have archivists and everything else that are on staff, and it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to take a look at it and just do a small little snapshot. And we've done that on a lot of buildings around campus to say, hey, this is kind of a short, snapshot of the history of this building.
Great. Well, thank you. Thanks for considering.
Certainly.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Sure.
So one is in terms of, depending on the plants that are available and if we have the ones they want, what size will they be compared to what size we hope they grow to? So what will people see first? And then what will we eventually see? And the other is I'm cognizant of the smoke trees had those roots that were kind of all over, and whether that might actually require us to adjust the plan because you can't remove it all.
So my quick answer to that is, we'll dig safe the area. First of all, to make sure that I understand exactly where, and my biggest concern right now is the gas, but I truly am about 99% sure that the gas comes from Railroad Street. So we won't be impacting that area at all. So my feeling is that we can clean out the smoke bushes, everything out of there without any issues in going in there and coming out with a clean slate. We've got into a lot of different materials over the years at Williston with, construction upon construction areas that we are getting back into and hard digging and this and that, and some more favorable than others. But in that area, in such a small area, I feel very confident that, number one, we're going to be able to remove everything. There may be some residual. I don't feel any need to come in there with a grinder or anything like that to disrupt any of that area. But I think we can clean that out as best we can and be very successful with replanting the area. Now, to answer your question about the plant size, I'll do my best to source the largest materials that we can get. And I'm going to say, early in the season, some of the things that Debbie has laid out there, as far as I think it was sedum and things like that. That's inconsequential. It's the evergreens. It's those things that putting in a very young and a very small one that has, gets people a little bit nervous about, geez, how long is this going to take, to fill in. I'll do everything I can. We're very successful, have been very successful and very aware that some people, and I'll be honest and say that our headmaster's house was one in particular that when we broke that foundation planting down, not a lot of people were looking to have it grow in over the next 10 years. And I think we were very successful planting that area with this old English style garden with very mature plantings in there, where if you didn't know that we ripped everything out and put it back in again, that this was all new. So, I don't know what Snows is going to be offering this year or in their new business and everything, but I do have a vendor in New Hampshire that I use, Milliken Nursery, especially early in the season. There's going to be a substantial amount of inventory there that we're going to have access to. So, I feel very confident that it's not going to be this brand new building that's just been built, a home that's been built, and now we're looking to put some foundation plantings in there. It's going to take 10 years to get to a mature state. I don't care for that look. I don't think that anybody would be really proud of that look. So I'll do everything that I can to really push that, to say we're going to source the biggest plant materials that we can there. The perennials and everything, I'm not that concerned about, because within a year they're going to be they're going to be established and they're going to be kind of what they are. And to kind of, I know Debbie's made some notes on this a little bit, but I have reached out to our vendor, Snow's Landscaping, and got them teed up already as to put a temporary irrigation system in. So when we do some planting, even though we may have some drought resistant, some, the right plants for the right area, they still are going to need some water. So, I've got those guys teed up to, once our planting is done, to install a temporary irrigation system to get everything established there.
Great, that sounds wonderful. Joe, so if at tonight's meeting, we say this looks good, what's your schedule looking like?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit difficult to say. Obviously, we want to get right on it, but a lot of it has to do as well with the rest of the lighting project that goes along.
Oh, you're frozen.
I think we lost Joe.
Oh, bummer.
Ooh,
We were doing so well.
I know,
Might just be temporary.
maybe.
Barb, just a point about the social media. If you feel that you need something that's more, a better picture of what this project is going to be,
Mhm.
once Joe gets the demolition done, I can go back over there and take some pictures of the building without any materials and then just sketch in what the plants could look like. Just a rough sketch, but
Yeah.
so that you could see the trees in front of the building. You could
Right.
see some of the smaller shrubs, you could see some of the perennials. And then we could certainly, oh, sorry. That's Joe calling me.
Hmm.
Hi, Joe. Okay, yeah, let me try that. Hold on. Okay, Joe, see if that works.
So can anybody hear me there?
Let me try to turn up the volume. Okay, try it again.
Can anybody hear me there?
Yep,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay, I'm sorry, my computer just crashed, but to answer that quick question is that we're trying to tie this in with the rest of the lighting projects. We'll be bringing in, be renting an excavator and doing all that. From the best of my knowledge, we're talking about the beginning of May
Okay.
when I believe the material is going to be delivered for the rest of the lighting project. So we will need that excavator to remove the plant material and all that. At that point, it starts getting a little bit tough. I'm not sure exactly how long everything's going to take. I can tell you how long it's going to take to remove the plant material and to plant it. But we start then, if it starts getting into the middle of May, we start getting into graduation and everything. So
Right.
I guess, Barb, just to answer your question quickly, is that we'd be ready to go to mobilize within a month. The beginning of May, we're going to be good to go. I mean, I'm going to say that we're going to rent that excavator for a couple of weeks. So, end of April, beginning of May, we're going to be good to go. And that's kind of the closest I can get. It's going to take us a day to remove material. We're still looking at relocating the air conditioning units, which has turned into a little bit more of a project than we had hoped for, but still doable, and just cleaning that area out. And then it's just a matter, for this, it's just a matter of sourcing the plant material, going out there. Once we remove it, Debbie and I can come up with the plant list, what we're looking for. And if we can get something locally, that's great. If not, we can get something in New Hampshire that I think will really, fit the bill for what we're looking for. So, we want to kind of check this off as soon as we can. Like I said, the only concern I have is if it starts dragging for some reason into, the second, third week of May, we have graduation coming up, Memorial Day, and all that.
Yep.
I just want to make sure that I want to under promise and over deliver on this.
Okay. I guess that kind of brings up a couple questions I have. First, the day that you're going to be removing all the stuff, I think we need to know ahead of time, because I think we should, close the path off as much as we can. Because obviously we don't want people walking around the excavator and doing all that. So,
Right.
well, Justin need to know that. I mean, it's gonna be kind of hard to totally close it off, but I mean, I think if we can at least put up some, have the DPW put up some, you know, sawhorses and signs.
Right. You know,
Well,
I don't know if you have
Barb,
access to any sandwich
Yeah.
boards or anything like that, but
Right,
you know,
right.
if we talk about, you know, 50 feet before the site, 50 feet after the site, just to let people know that
Yeah,
there's something going on ahead of them. You know, we work around, we
Right.
work
You
around
know,
students and faculty all
yeah.
the time, so we're accustomed to that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just, it's more of the, you know, the foot traffic is probably a little bit easier to control. It's the bikes coming through at a little bit higher rate of speed that, you know,
Okay.
can be a little
Okay.
bit more difficult. And so whatever I guess notice we can give them upon that site, but we're not talking about being down for 2 days.
Right,
You know, we're
right.
gonna, you know, it's gonna be, you know, the better part of a day, we'll have everything out of there.
Okay,
I think we should possibly consider, at least look at just routing everyone down Railroad Street and
Right.
maybe even having a cop there to, you know. to-
well, I don't really, we're not gonna pay for a cop to stand there all day, Steve.
Oh, you
know
have
how
to
much
pay
that would
it?
be.
You have to pay for them to do their
Oh my
duty?
God, yeah,
For
yeah. $55 an hour.
Get out.
No, so we're not gonna
Wow.
do that. We'll just put up some signs,
Yeah,
you
okay.
know.
And
My
we will,
next,
we'll have, you know, we'll have plenty of people, you know, my people and everything there. It's not gonna be one guy out there, an excavator, you know, tearing down. We'll have plenty of people out there to, you know, keep an eye when somebody's coming and all of that.
Right.
So, you know, yeah, I just want to do whatever we can, you know, like I
Yep.
said, whatever notification, and
Okay.
we'll know, Barb, we'll know, you know, I mean, within a week that we're good to go on this. So if there's
Okay.
any notification that you can put out anywhere on your website or
Yeah.
anywhere and just saying that this is going to be happening,
yeah,
you know, it's
Yeah.
fine. But I feel like we can, you know, it's
Okay.
going to be, you know, it's not going to be even a full day. We'll probably get going about, you know, my feeling is, you know, 9:30 in the morning and be done by, you know, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
okay. Okay, my next thing, this is more to like John and the rest of the committee. Now, usually like the first Saturday in May or so, we have a big mulching party and we mulch the whole area. Now, I'm kind of wondering if maybe we should wait on that until this is kind of done. I mean, I think we can get in there and, you know, scruff up, you know, make it look okay, but I don't really, if we usually do the mulching day on like Saturday, May 7th, that I think we should kind of hold off until, you know, this has happened.
So you're concerned about having that area missed and not looking as nice as everything else?
Well, no, I'm just like, I mean, do we take the time to mulch just the other side?
I would at this point, and I would also say, you know, I can take it, you know, when we do the garden, the Railroad Street garden, we can do this area as well. The mulch, the mulch might not match, but you know, if we can, you know, I feel pretty confident we're going to be around that same time frame.
Right,
If these, you know, all of our stuff with the light poles and everything are coming in the beginning of May, we're going to be around that time. So if it doesn't
Right.
exactly work out, you know, we certainly can do the mulching in that area. Like I said, the mulch might not match. It'll match what's in the Railroad Street garden. It might
Right.
not exactly match what's across, you know,
right.
the bike
We
path.
usually get just, I don't know, what do you call it? Just
Yards.
Natural brown.
Yeah,
Right. And we've been going, and I haven't sure what we're doing. We've been doing a hemlock lately that I haven't been thrilled with, but you know, it's more of a red color to it. But it's not going to look bad. So you know, it's not the worst thing that's ever going to happen. I wouldn't get too wrapped up about that. And let's see as we get closer. You know, we have a, you know, 3-4 weeks before we get to that point. So I wouldn't get too wrapped up about that area yet. And I would
Well,
also say, if we can get that stuff, we're not going to leave it
right.
looking bad.
I mean, I wonder if we should go ahead and do the other side, or whether we should hold off and kind of.
Well, I'll answer that question a little bit. I could also offer to do the other side when we do this side. So,
Okay.
and I don't know the other areas that you're actually doing on the bike path.
There are a few.
I can have those 2 areas done and look the same.
Okay, and we actually go all the way out to Payson Ave usually, that whole bed. I mean, we usually get
so
like.
So if that's
10
what
yards.
if that's what you're looking to do, the only challenge with that is when we're going to get plant material and get it planted, and that's the when we start talking about the schedule. That's when I start getting a little bit hesitant. I don't want to get so tight and commit to something that in the middle of May that I can't I can't keep up.
Well, so it would, if Barb, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys can mulch it, regardless of when you can mulch it, I think we're okay with that. If you can mulch it in the beginning of the May or the middle of May or the end of May, it doesn't, if we're in agreement that it's okay for them to mulch it, Barb would.
Right. We do need to get in and do some work ahead of it. John.
Yeah, I don't, if anybody wanted to go through there and they wanted to quickly weed or whatever in the other side that's going to be staying and all that, just to kind of clean it up and scratch it up a little bit.
Right, that's what we do.
Halfway decent, and then we can certainly come in when we do the planting. We can certainly come in and we can mulch that. Both sides will match, and and obviously it's still early in the season that it's not going to be this awful looking thing.
Okay.
No, that's wonderful.
Also, like payment for this, I mean, the mulch, we always buy it, and we need to talk about the finances of the.
Yep. So as far as that goes, I'm more concerned with. I mean, it's just a kind of I buy, I don't know how many yards of mulch. I have it delivered 7 yards at a whack, and I probably, I buy 500 yards of mulch. So, a couple of yards that are going to go on this area isn't going to be that big of a deal.
No, we usually get about 10.
I'm more, I guess, concerned is about the plant material themselves.
Okay.
Because if we're really looking to get mature sized plants, then that comes with with a cost.
Right. And like I said on site, I know that we're willing to, we have funding for this. This is a project for the bike path as well as Williston. I mean, we're certainly willing to pay our share, or we can talk about that.
Yep. So what I would just suggest there is that, the way that if wherever I go, whether it's Milliken Nursery in New Hampshire, or whether it's, Snows in Sunderland, or wherever it is, why don't I just pay for it? And then I'll submit the bills to you guys, and you just reimburse us for us. Does that work?
Okay. Do you have like a ballpark amount of?
I haven't even looked at what any of these things would be. I was looking at this afternoon. I was looking at, and I can get back to you, Barb, with that. Okay. I will say that a mature evergreen plant is going to be $300, and I can, the small sedums and everything are $15 a piece, and
would you say like
let me just take a little closer look at all these things, and I can take a quick look through. I have an updated the Milliken catalog that has all the prices and everything in there. I can go through that without totally identifying what they are right now. It's tough to really put a price on them. And I haven't spent that much time saying, geez, we're going to need this size and that size. So, we're not talking $10,000 here.
Right. I mean, are you thinking like
we're
25?
Probably a couple $1,000 max on all this.
And Joe, I can help you with the plant list, because I haven't specified how many perennials and you
Right.
know, I need to work that out a little bit
Okay.
to give you a clearer list.
So
Yeah.
maybe
So
like,
I don't think anything's gonna be real scary for you as
Okay.
far as what the cost is on this stuff. I think our first step really is to clear the area and have Debbie really come in and start to identify things, and then we start making phone calls. And I won't purchase anything without, you know, getting the okay from you folks to go ahead and do that.
okay, I mean, I'm thinking like, do you think 2,500 is like a reasonable?
Yeah, I think, again, I would
Alright.
look at it, I think that's probably, you know, that's probably fair enough. I mean, if I was gonna put a real number on, I'd probably say just for safety's sake, I'd probably say $3,000. But I don't even, Debbie, how many of those bigger plants or shrubs do you have in there? Not a huge amount, do you?
Oh, no, I mean, you're, for the larger ones, the 6 to 8 footers, there's only
4?
like 4.
4. So, I mean, that's $1,200, you know, for that. Like I said, the perennials are, you know, yeah, I mean, I don't want to, like, again, I keep on saying I want to overpromise, I want to underpromise and overdeliver.
Right.
Without really looking at it right now, everything is going up in price, and I haven't bought anything this spring. Milliken and a lot of places I'm getting, you know, forewarned that all the prices are going up on everything. So it's tough to really throw a number on it without really knowing what this year's prices are going to bring.
Okay, so committee members, how do you feel about, you know, well, that kind of expenditure? Are you okay? Is that, what are your thoughts?
That's about average price, yeah, price wise, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's reasonable, and for what we're getting in a sort of a very central spot for the rail trail that's well traveled, I think, you know, it's worth the investment.
yeah, I think that too. I think that too.
Yeah, I mean, if we put maybe we want to put a limit on it, try to stay under $3,000, 25 is better. But
Yeah, so we'll say, yeah, if you want to say 2,500 or not to exceed 2,500. And if it was going to, I just come back to you. But I just don't see us. But I just don't know. I mean, I like I said, I get these price increase notifications for fuel charges for all the stuff that's coming up now. So I don't know what really was going to add to some of this stuff. And again, I mean, as far as if I go to Milliken to get the best material, the biggest material, I probably end up you know, I talk about absorbing costs. I'll take, you know, I have one of my guys going to Saturday. It's, you know, it's a long day for them, but I'll pay for them for the overtime and all that. I mean, Williston will, you know, we'll do our fair share to, you know, to absorb some of that, to be able to source some of the better materials if we need to. Obviously, I'd love to get them locally, but if I need to, you know, go up and I need to get a dozen plants, you know, I won't go up there for the perennials, but I would certainly go up there for shrub material if I had found that I needed to get something that was, you know, going to be big enough to suit our needs, and I would take that. I would take that out of, you know, our budget.
I mean, personally, I think for what we're getting for this whole project, you know, you doing this kind of work, the lighting, I mean, for us to buy the plants, I think it's a pretty darn good deal. And I'm for it. I'm in favor of it. I think we should take a vote just to make sure that we're all on board, and then say, let's get going on it.
you want to make a motion, Barb, or do you want?
Well, why doesn't somebody else make a motion? Wendy, do you want to throw out something just to?
Sure, I'll make a motion that we accept the concept drawings and the cost of approximately 2,500. Try to stay under that, however you want to word it, Barb.
Or Steve, you can wordsmith.
Yeah. For the
I would say just 2,500, not to exceed $2,500.
okay,
That's fair.
that's
Yep.
fair. I like that. So
I
are we doing this a landscaping project adjacent to Tandem? Is it no longer Tandem Bagel? Is that correct? Did you say they changed their name?
No, they're still Tandem Bagel. Yes.
Tandem Bagel. Okay.
Okay. All right. Is there a second to that motion?
Second,
All right,
Okay. All in favor, if everybody could raise their hands. Anybody opposed? Okay. I think we're good to go on that.
I have a question about the trash can. Can we get that out of there?
Well, I think we do need to keep the trash can
Well,
there.
no, but you can just move it to the right onto the lawn instead of keeping it in the planting itself.
I don't know how it's installed.
Well, it shouldn't be too hard to take it out and move it.
I think, can we kind of like see how things go when everything's out?
Yeah, and we can just put extra perennials in there. That's not a big deal.
Okay.
So let me, I just had to ask the committee one quick question. If I had, we're talking about, materials for the lighting and all that arriving early May. If I had an opportunity to get over there and start removing, tops of the foliage part of these things, would that be okay? Or do we want to get a sign out there? How do we want to do this? I don't want to go cutting things down, because the big part is we're going to cut it down. We can come back a week later and we can remove, the root systems, or 2 weeks later remove the root systems. Do we want to do it all at once, or would you give me the approval to go removing materials, or do you want to get something out there to the public?
I think we could probably put something out to the public pretty soon.
Okay.
Maybe Wendy and we can maybe coordinate what goes on the website and what goes out on our Facebook page. And then maybe we could have a sign, we could put something out there on the path soon, just coming soon or whatever, or,
Yep.
and then whenever you get a chance to start working, you could probably do it. What do others?
Okay, yeah, just give me a heads up when that can happen, because I know some of the I believe we have the lights, or we need to get going on some of the installation of wiring and everything for the lights on the building. So, but I would like to get the stuff out of there before our guys get going on that. So if Barb, if you could just kind of shoot me an email or whatever and just say, okay, we've got some stuff out there on our Facebook page or town website, or we have a sandwich board out there, and so you're good to go.
Okay.
Just let me know that I can, if I had an afternoon or a morning that, we were slow for whatever reason, and I send my guys out there and we just cut everything down and get it out of there and do the final removal, when we have the excavator there.
And, I might even, maybe even might say something at the city council meeting next week, like during public speak time, just to get it, kind of just out there, just so everybody's aware of what's going on. But does that sound good to everybody on the committee?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Great. Exciting. This will be an exciting spring.
Okay, good.
All right. Thanks for coming, and you're welcome to stay.
Thanks very much.
Okay, Joe, I'm going to send you an email about putting the plant list together. Okay.
Yep, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay, everybody all set?
Thank you. Thank you, Debbie and Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Barb, do you want me to stop sharing the screen?
Yeah. All right. Wow. Okay. That's going to be great. Okay, I guess going on, the next thing I have on the agenda is this Grace Trail signage request. Now, there was one person that was here. She's gone now, but
That Scarlet person, or?
I don't know. There's nobody here to talk about it. Wendy, what are you thinking on this?
I don't know if that was her. Let me go to the, let me see. What was her name?
I don't think that was her name.
So I don't know if she didn't make it today. I guess I would wait. Because I just don't know enough about it.
I don't either.
Her name was Pamela Brooks Richardson.
Right, that wasn't, it was not, that wasn't the name.
That was not her.
I don't know who that person was. All right, so I say we can kind of move this, we can table it because I don't know anything about it.
Right, I would say wait until she's here to talk about it.
Okay, maybe maybe she didn't, maybe we'll tell her when the next meeting is if she wants to come.
Okay.
All right, the next one is the New England Scenic Trail. I sent what Liz had sent on that as well. John, you probably know about this as well, so I'll let you guys talk about that.
John, why don't you tell, since you've already taken some action on it, why don't you fill us in? John,
What are we talking about now?
we're talking about the New England Trail connection.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a good idea. I mean,
Yeah.
the Pascoma Trust is involved with it. We're going to be our trail over Old Pascomic off East Street is going to be part of that beginning of that extension. So then they're going to go down to the Manhan Rail Trail from our trail. So
okay, so it comes from the Mount Town Trailhead Park,
yeah,
and then it kind of will go down where your little Pascomic area is.
yeah, and the only way to get there right now is walking along East Street. That's my only concern there. You know?
So Liz, what, like, when they get to our trail, where's it going from there? Do you know?
Fort Hill Road.
Okay, so they'll go down the bike path to Fort Hill Road?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
As far as they know.
that seems,
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Yeah, because
Except when that road's flooded, which happens once in a,
Yeah.
used to happen every year, but
So when they get to Fort Hill Road, then it goes down Fort Hill to Arcadia? Or where does it go from there?
somehow it connects to Route 5 going to that way. I'm not sure exactly how though.
Yeah.
I think it loops around the Oxbow.
Oh,
There's like a back way there, and then it gets you to
okay.
Northampton Center.
Oh, through the fields?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, probably. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but that's not really it. They just want to know if they can include that little section of the bike path as part
Well,
of the
yeah,
trail.
and that's not going to be a big deal. You know?
Yeah.
It's not
I
going to.
think it would probably just be some signage, correct?
Right, they'll put trail blazes that match the blazes on the rest of the New England Trail, and there'll probably be, he said, maybe a few small directional signs, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh,
I think it's great.
I think
Fantastic.
I think it seems okay to me.
It's no sweat off our backs, and it's going to be, benefit us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't need any official, proclamation or permission slip or anything. As far as he was concerned, he just, unless we needed it for our purposes, but I thought, as long as he's touched base with us and we don't have any issues with it, I'll just tell him we're good with it.
Yeah.
So will the signs be when you get onto in other words, will it be on the Pascomic Conservation Trust land that to go, make a left onto the bike path? Or are these signs going to be on the bike path?
I
Well,
don't know that.
I think it would be good if maybe when they were ready to put the signs up, or like if we could kind of know if they could let us know where they're thinking they would like to put them and maybe what they would look like, just so.
Okay.
Maybe we might want to tweak where they go a little bit.
How
Okay.
big they are. What I just want to make sure we've got the National Recreation Trail, I just want, and we're part of the canal trail, and I just don't want people to be confused.
Right.
What trail, what is the name of this trail? I just think we just have to be careful about
Having too many different trail.
trail signs.
Yeah.
Know what the heck.
Okay. All right, I can convey that to him, that when it's time to put the, when they start getting close to putting up any signs, that to give us a heads up, and maybe we can go out there and look at it with them.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the critical one would be right at our entrance there, because that's the entrance to everything.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, people will have to walk along East Street for a ways, but.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
we're hoping to get some land heading southward, along the hillsides, but that's a long way coming yet. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they still have to cross the street at some point.
Well, yeah, but it'd be easier to cross the street far up close to us, right across from us, actually,
Right,
because Marzick family farm.
right.
So how long will people be on East Street? Is it just, a couple?
Do you know
yards?
where the new Trailhead Park is, Wendy?
Yeah,
It would be from there to the Pascomic.
Yeah, so if
area.
you're walking that, you'd probably take 10 to 15 minutes.
oh, so it's, okay.
Mm,
It's not a great.
No, there's
road to be
no
walking on.
sidewalks, and it's kind of hazardous, I think, but
Yeah, it is. It's narrow, it's windy, it's dark. Well, people wouldn't be doing it in the dark. I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
it probably wouldn't be a ton of people. It's just some
No,
people here
no,
and there,
no.
Right, that's true.
I mean, you can walk along the road now, I guess, if you want to, but. Yeah, Liz, I think if you're willing to do that, that would be great.
Sure, yeah,
Okay,
yep, I'll send him an email tomorrow.
okay. All right, trail maintenance. So as far as the mulching, I think we should just. I do think it would be a good idea to get in there at some point, John, and we'll do the, roughing it up and maybe edging the mural side.
Yeah, hopefully I have some time.
Yeah, and I can work on that too.
It's
so.
been cold, so cold. I'm way
Oh,
behind.
yeah. Well, it's only March. We haven't even hit April yet.
Yeah,
But
once April comes, December comes right after.
I know. But as far as the actual mulching workday, I think we might get the year off. We did do that one year. We did do that in 2020 and it was okay. I mean, but
Yeah.
if Williston's willing to mulch it, I'm good with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't turn that down.
No. I do, John, you do have some stuff on the trail that needs to be dealt with. Probably.
Yeah, aren't we having a work party this Saturday?
Okay,
for
so
that?
I've got, Rich and I are in the midst of, we've got a huge amount of stuff to take to the brush dump this Saturday. I don't know how much.
Won't need much help. All we need is a trailer.
Yep. Peter, are you willing to do the trailer?
Yeah, that shouldn't, as long as we got the help.
Okay. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to help because we've got like a massive pile already that we have to take up there. So is David, or would you maybe be willing to give a hand on Saturday for a bit, or Wendy, or?
Are you just
Liz?
talking about the stuff that's over, that was cut down next to
Yep.
Tandem?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it just needs to get loaded onto a trailer?
Yeah, I piled it up close to Tandem there on the corner there. It's not going to be that much. We're
Is
not
it heavy
talking.
at all? Just because I've got a tender back, so I have to be careful.
No, it's not. I cut it up so it's small enough to handle. Yeah,
So what time are we talking about?
good question. I don't know.
The
Maybe
brush dump opens at 8 o'clock. Peter, what time is good for you?
Well, I would probably grab the trailer the night before because I don't keep it here at the house anymore. Long as I let my nephew-in-law know ahead so they don't use it for anything. Yeah, I don't know what, I think the question is, what about get the help's opinion what time everybody can be there? Because I'm certainly flexible if I'm, feeling all right and stuff,
Yeah.
Uh,
9:30, 10 o'clock, 9, whatever.
What's the long range forecast for Saturday?
It looks great. Looks good in the 50s. I mean, if we're done with ours, but we're gonna have at least two trips to the brush dump and then the recycling center. So I don't, I mean, if we're done, but I can't guarantee me. So,
I think 10 o'clock would work better for me around there.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
yeah,
Okay.
if it's that late, I might be able to help for a little bit, but I mean, it's not that much. It's just bulky. Just load it in and take it and
Yeah.
dump it.
Yeah, it won't take long to load.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Okay. All right. So do you want to say 10 o'clock on Saturday?
Yep.
Meet at the mural. Okay. We'll get that dealt with. And if I can be there, I will, but we've got quite a project going on. Okay. Any other trail stuff?
Yeah, I pruned all of the roses at the Coleman Ranch entrance end there, so
Okay.
everything is done there, and I also the 3 crab apples and apple trees along the way there.
All right. Is there anything there that needs to be picked up,
No,
John?
no,
or-
I took care of that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So this spring, down at the Route 5 end of the trail, I don't know if people know, they've added a planter at the very end of the trail. There are plants in it, and I'm not sure what they are, but we'll have to keep an eye on that and see what was planted. This was during, they took down the trees, and this company came in and they planted some shrubs. It was done very late in the year. So that's one little place we'll have to keep an eye on. So make sure it looks nice, but I have no idea what was planted in there.
Well, you're talking about the perennials, the boxes.
Well, they built this wooden planter box.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yep. It's raised. It's a raised planter box.
Yeah. Well, I can check that out and see what's.
Yeah, I haven't
Come
been
up
down there. When things start to grow, we'll have a better idea, but I really don't know what they put in there.
Yeah.
And
all right.
I think we do have to realize that no matter what is planted on this tandem planting area, it's still going to take some, perennial cleanup and that kind of stuff. So it
Oh, yeah,
won't be, there's no planting that is like totally, carefree.
You
But,
got that right.
yeah.
Yep.
So, even if you put catmint or cone flowers or things like that, there's still going to be, cleanup to do, but it should be nice. Okay. Liz, what's going on with the Pioneer Valley Bike Month thingy?
Well, there was a meeting of all the people some of the people who are perennially involved in Bike Week. And it was led by Jeff McCullough from, that we know and love from Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. And he and one of his coworkers are spearheading the local effort. And the state Mass Bike had decided to observe Bike Month in May instead of Bike Week. And so the consensus was from the local organizers to also observe Bike Month. So that gives us, if we want to do an event, that gives us the whole month of May, instead of just being limited to a week. I'm wondering is if there's going to be all this work being done on the back of Tandem Bagel, and that's where we the last few years have done our breakfast.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
If we dare, since we don't know when they're going to be working there, it's going to be hard to schedule an event there.
Yeah, I think we pretty much can't plan on using that
No.
because we have no idea what's going
I have
on.
no idea. They could be there for 2 or 3 weekends, and we don't know when it's going to be.
I'm not really sure that the whole us standing out there with bagels and fruit was really
No, I think,
I don't think it was really worth our time.
no,
Okay.
neither do I. Yeah.
Okay, I do know one other person that was put in touch with me, who was thinking of doing an Easthampton event at River Valley Co-op. So, and she was wondering what we were going to do. And so I think I'll get back to her and say that we're going to opt out this year because our usual site is maybe not available.
Yeah.
Sean Condon had offered to come and do what he was going to do in 2020, which was, offer bike tune-ups along the trail when we were doing a breakfast. But I think maybe I better tell him that we're just taking another year off.
The only other option would be, there is that, I don't know what you call it, that stand right behind those, I think they're arborvitae's there next to Tandem.
Yeah.
It's for fixing your bike. And
Oh.
could he still do that? And we could have some kind of presence there. I'm sure Tanda wouldn't mind if we stood on their grass and just not have food necessarily, but just.
Yeah, but when would you do that? Because when we were out there, half the time there was like people just walking their dogs and,
Yeah.
it's like,
You'd have to you'd really have to advertise to make it.
yeah,
And have
it seems
people
like
come.
something like that should accompany something
Another
else.
event.
Well, the other
Yeah.
thing that was brought up, one of the person in charge of Valley Bike, the e-bike rentals, she was at the regional meeting, and she's going to be doing Valley Bike demos at a lot of different events. So I wonder if, and since there's a Valley Bike location there by the 50 Payson, I wonder if Sean would want to do something in conjunction with Valley Bike doing something.
That makes more sense to me, as long as it's advertised, because otherwise, who's,
Yeah, well,
Oh,
it would,
May,
any-
I was thinking May, June
and
is,
then it wouldn't depend on our little patch of pavement being available.
right.
But
I
you
can
could also-
suggest that to him, and if any of us want to give them a hand, we could do that, but maybe it would be pretty much up to Sean and the Valley Bike people to figure it out.
Right.
And they could also do it on the bike path right there at Union Street.
Right,
as
yeah, where
opposed to-
they would want to, because that's where the Valley Bike installation is.
Right.
And then Sean could have a setup adjacent to that.
Yeah, that'd probably be a better location if we wanted to like have it be near the bike path.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, well, I'll talk to Sean and refer him to the Valley Bike person. And maybe they can come up with something together.
Okay.
And then if we can get a few of us, depending on when they do it, one of us wants to be
We
there.
can bring those darn bells down.
Bring them.
Yeah.
We don't have that many bells left in them.
Oh, what do you mean? There's a whole big box of them.
So that's good.
We'll have those things for years.
We want people to use those bells.
Yeah. we
Yeah,
could-
so if we want to give away bells, if we want to have, I know we won't have new trail maps yet, but if there are any giveaway things being provided by PVPC or Mass Bike, a couple of us could go out and set up nearby and hand those things out and answer questions about the trail. That could work.
Mhm.
We just don't have to do food.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
All
Yep.
right, I'll be in touch with both of them then.
Okay.
Okey-doke.
So there's no update on the map project. Haven't heard a word, so nothing on that. The bench installation, did we talk about that again at the last meeting?
Yes, but I don't know do you know if she actually completed the application or where that stands with John?
Haven't heard a word. I think we told everybody that the park department does have a bench installation policy and an application process. So we kind of, did you direct her to the park department?
Yes, and John was, I CC'd him and he responded right away. So
Okay.
basically I was kind of handing it off to the two of them to
Okay.
extract us out and said, let us know when you get to the point where you need to decide where to put it and we'll get
Okay.
involved.
Yep, I haven't heard a word, so,
All right, maybe I should follow up and just see where that is.
okay.
So does that mean the Parks Department bench policy is, now that we're part of the Parks Department, is that our policy?
I think
Yeah.
so.
We decided why reinvent the wheel? The city already has this in place. And for them, it wasn't just a bench, but they also, you can dedicate trees and monuments and stuff. So it was a little more comprehensive, but benches was one of the items listed. And they have a whole process and an application.
An amount, you know, yeah.
Yeah, it was all done. So why?
Yeah.
So-
Okay,
So that, and
Right.
it was what, was it 2,500, 3,000?
something
was-
like that. It's like at least 2,000, yeah, it was
It
at
was
least
expensive.
2,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think we can kind of take this off our agenda. Do you agree on that, Wendy, or should I leave it?
Well, let me leave it on there until I find out
Okay,
where it stands and if we're gonna have to go out on the trail with everybody and figure out where.
okay,
this
all
is
right, I'll
gonna
just
go,
leave
but
it for now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and I haven't heard any update, but Friday is April 1st, right? So I guess I don't know if that Millside Park art installation is still going on. Liz, have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything. I can check in with Pasqualina.
Yeah.
I've kind of fallen off of their distribution list, so,
Okay,
but I can email her and say, is that still happening and can you give us more details?
okay, I just stuck it on there right after the meeting last time, just so we wouldn't forget.
Yeah,
So-
I've got it on my calendar, but I haven't heard a word about it, so I will check in with her tomorrow.
Okay,
All right.
I would think Jeff would also be aware of that too, wouldn't he? Jeff Bag?
well, she works kind of under the planning department, so I don't know. I mean, I haven't noticed anything happening there, but I haven't been by in maybe a week, so.
Nothing new there.
Nothing, oh yeah, David, you would know,
Yeah.
because if it's gonna be done on Friday, they better get moving on it,
Yeah,
but,
okay, I will check in with her.
okay. All right, anything else? That's pretty much all I had.
So Chris was on the bike path. Again, there's no brochures in the container on Coleman Road. But I didn't know, did you say that the woman that was working for us had a few more hours left, or is she done?
Well, she'll be starting up technically in April,
Oh, okay.
I think, and yeah, so I think she has like 40 hours left, but she's still on, it doesn't start again until, well, April's pretty soon,
That's
but
a couple days. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to grab some brochures and put them down there.
Yeah, we will. I
Okay.
just didn't know what the status was with her. if-
Yeah, I don't know when her start date is. That's a good question, because that's coming up around the.
Yeah.
Very, very, I mean, there's really not too much to do right now. I know that she has been out and about because she, there was some more graffiti again, so. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of graffiti's the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
A lot of those streetlights are tagged.
Yeah, that was done when that kid was, out there. So we will need to do some graffiti covering once weather gets better. So yeah, so our next meeting is going to be in person. What about the date? Do we have a date that we want to pick? April 25th, April 18th is Patriots Day. I will have a meeting that night, but I guess we're not meeting till 7, so it's all right.
That's good for me.
All
The
right.
25th?
April 25th. We'll be back in our old room.
So Barb, is it going to be hybrid at least, or?
No,
we
there's
have-
only a few boards that are meeting hybrid because the technology isn't available in all of the rooms yet, and nobody's really been trained. So the IT girl, Karen, we were hoping it would be just a couple committees. It's going to be city council, school committee, planning, zoning. There's just a few committees. I think down the road, the idea is for everybody to go hybrid, but it's the technology, the rooms aren't all set up yet.
So why can't we continue to meet this way? Do you know what the reason is?
Because the mayor said come April 1st, everybody's in person.
But you don't know why she wants to do that?
That was the decision that was made. So
Yeah, I'm just wondering what her thought process was on that. Okay.
yeah, I mean, as of
Personally, I like this.
last week, I thought it was just going to be the city council for our next meeting, and then shortly afterwards, the word came out that everybody was back in person, with a few selected boards doing hybrid right now. So it's not my decision. I like doing it from my house.
I do too.
But anyway, I think you did this go to everybody? And Annette is going to be leaving our committee. And I think her main reason is that she's started to volunteer at the community center on Monday nights. So she felt as if she had another commitment, but she's still going to be willing to do all of her work and volunteer and do things. She just won't be a member of the committee.
And what happened? We have a new member, right? Do we have a new member?
We do. She's on the email list, and I don't even know what she looks like.
What's her name?
Caitlin something. So
I think maybe we need to do a little recruiting to get some new members.
we do. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know who she hasn't been sworn in. I've never met her. She gets everything that all the rest of us, we all get it. Maybe she'll show up in the next meeting. Maybe she doesn't do remote meetings, but yeah. But yes, you are correct. We do. We need to recruit some new people.
Well, maybe it's time to put something out on Facebook or website, or I don't know how else personal. If anybody knows anybody, start asking people who you think would be.
Yeah, I think, if anybody knows of anybody, that's always the best way.
I know.
But anyway.
But our numbers are shrinking here, and
well, there's some people that don't come even though they're on the committee. But maybe once we're back in person, maybe some of them will start to attend, but I don't know. You're right. Okay, on that note, so Monday, April 25th, conference room 1 at 7 o'clock.
Sounds good.
All right. And anybody that can help on Saturday at 10 o'clock, won't be long. That would be great.
Yeah, be about an hour or less.
Yep.
I can't, sorry, not that day.
All right, I'll be there.
Okay, I will try to be, but depends on how our morning goes. All right.
Okay, everybody.
Thanks.
See you next month.
Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Right.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.